Hey everybody, it is week 12. This is CIT 12. Apologies if this video seemed a little bit rushed, but what may be the last game of the World Series is about to start, and so I kind of feel a little pressure to hurry up. In terms of the textbook this week, we're looking at Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is all about networking, and I don't want to sort of give that short shrift. Networking is a huge topic in computing. There is sort of the programming side, people who want to build software, but the other big career sort of pathway in technology is networking. People who want to just put computers together, get them to communicate with one another, run servers that host services for other computers on the network. There's a lot to go in with networking, and this chapter really only covers sort of the bare basics. But if you feel at all interested in it, just know that networking is a really, really practical career. You know, a lot of people say right now when it comes to career choices, you've got two options, healthcare and technology. And networking is a really accessible way of doing it. Whereas computer programming requires you to take calculus and get an actual bachelor's degree at least. Networking can be done with an associate's degree. It can be something that you sort of work your way up to. It doesn't require nearly as much math. You may actually end up doing some programming in it. You may end up finding solutions to all sorts of unique things, but it just doesn't have quite the academic rigor that computer science has, which is the primary degree for programming. So regardless, IS, or IT, information technology, networking, is a great career path. And if you look around town, any building that's got more than 50 employees probably has a dedicated IT person, or they hire an IT company to come in and do all their IT work for them. It's something where every hospital, every school district, everybody has IT people. It's been said that IT people are sort of like the roaches of industry, right? They are everywhere, every single industry. If you want to work in entertainment, all the local television stations hire IT people. There are IT people that make sure the stuff works at studios, recording studios that are in the music industry. Any industry you can think of, there are IT people working in those industries. So anyway, if it's something that, hey, this is kind of interesting to me, definitely look at it as a career path. It may be something that you really, really enjoy. Oh, so all that being said, read Chapter 7, and there's a quiz on Chapter 7 in the Week 12 folder. Your discussion for this week is kind of weird. I've broken it up into two different parts, and the two parts are not necessarily tied together much. But one is kind of a quick exercise. I just want you to actually see the network, see the internet, see some of the physical structures. And of course, that's really hard to do. But there's a website, You Get Signal. It was created by, I think, an Australian technology student. But regardless, he has a program there called Visual Traceroute. And so the idea is that you can type in any web address you want, and you can actually see the pathway that those packets that are leaving your computer, where those packets are going to get to the location that you're wanting to choose. So if you choose like Amazon.com, I believe those servers are located in Seattle, although they may have moved around. Amazon is a huge company, so they probably have servers in multiple places. But how do the packets actually, where do they go when they leave your computer? Do they go from Fresno to LA, up to Denver, over to wherever? Point being, when you actually see the way the network is structured, it's kind of crazy. The idea that these pathways can sometimes get blocked up. And so you might have slow traffic on one particular line, less traffic on another line. And the way the internet is set up, everything just gets rerouted. So you're always being rerouted through the fastest path possible. Even if that means that a packet meant for Seattle ends up going from Fresno to Denver to New Jersey to Germany, back to the US, and then back to Seattle. How is that possible? How is that the fastest path? And it may just be that there was a lot of traffic on some of the other lines, and so they said, oh yeah, we've got huge fiber optic lines that go across the ocean, we're just going to send you across the oceans real quick. Point being, what you think of as the way the network's connected together, the way that the network works, is not necessarily the way it works. And so it's kind of interesting to see what those pathways are. And just think to yourself, does this make sense, right? Is this, if you got a flight to Seattle and you had to take that path, would you be a little disappointed? Probably you would be, because that would be a huge, long flight. But when it comes to fiber optics, speed, you know, literally it's, if we can use the big fiber optic channels, we can get that data to travel at the speed of light. It really doesn't matter where you're going at that point. It's always going to be faster to take fiber than to take copper. Electric signals traveling across copper move fast, but they don't move nearly as fast as light through a fiber optic cable. Anyway, that being said, take a look at that and sort of go to some websites. At the very least, you'll figure out where your favorite websites are hosted. You know, if you go to, you know, whatever your favorite, you know, thinkgeek.com, which is a specialty shop that I go to every once in a while, you can figure out where those servers are located. You can actually see where in the world they exist. The other thing, so the other half of that is to go and look at another site that is somewhat useful. So the idea is that we are all connected to the network. We've talked about it in the past that there are no filters for the internet, right? So anybody can say anything that they want and it just becomes true. And you have to, well, it doesn't become true, but people believe it to be true because they read it online. And so you have to be your own filter. You have to essentially create your own sense of disbelief when you read stuff online. And so there's a site, it has been around, I think as long as the internet has been around. I think my first time going to Snopes.com was literally back in the dial-up days in the 1990s. But regardless, Snopes.com has been around forever. And essentially what they do is they take a look at all the things that are being sort of talked about on social media, things that are being emailed back and forth. All the rumors and potential stories that are out there that are sort of trending, and they essentially research them to see if it's possibly true. And then they'll tell you, hey, this is actually true. You know, the story of somebody who found something in their chili at a Wendy's or whatever, maybe that's actually true. Whereas some other story is completely false. Sometimes it's like, hey, it's a mixed bag. This is kind of true, kind of false. And then they go into what that is. And so I want you to take a look at Snopes just as a resource. Granted, it's a classic resource, and there's lots of other resources out there like it, but it's a resource to help you be a better filter for what's true when you're reading stuff online. And again, there are others out there, you know, but Snopes has been around for a long time, and they're fairly well respected. So take a look at it. Now, I will say, by the way, when you do visit the site, I have this warning on the website as well. There's a lot of very sensitive things out there. Some of the rumors that go about are not, they're not pleasant. And so just be your own filter as you're just picking a story to research. If you know that you have religious sensibilities, you may not want to choose a religiously charged story, because there's a lot of lies that get told about various religions and various people groups, and our president seems to be a lightning rod for fake stories about him. So needless to say, if you feel sensitive to a particular subject, then just avoid those subjects and choose something lighter. It's Halloween. There are tons of stories about Halloween out there that aren't true. Needless to say, nobody has ever gotten an apple with a razor blade in it. You would probably notice if there was a razor blade sticking out of your apple. Anyway, that being said, take a look at Snopes.com, and hopefully it helps you to be a little bit more of a critical thinker when you're looking at stuff online. And then that's it for the discussion. And then as far as labs go, we're just continuing on with PowerPoint. Some people may just be starting PowerPoint because you took a little bit longer with your Excel practical. No problem there. Like I said, you've got that week late period. Maybe just try and catch back up so that you've still got your leeway. But other than that, yeah, PowerPoint. Hopefully you're finding it a little bit easier, especially as we're getting closer to the holiday season. I know it's only November 1st, but I'm already hearing Christmas music at places. And, you know, the semester ends a little awkwardly with Thanksgiving, like a last week, and then finals week, and then we end up being done. So it's a little bit weird, but hopefully we'll have almost everything done, and so we'll feel like at the very end of the semester, when maybe some of your other classes are getting really intense, this class will feel like it's lightened up a bit. So hopefully that's the case for you. And that's it. If you have any questions, give me an email. But other than that, have a great week 12, and I will see you online.